welcome to these fascinating Karnataka elections. Is this a semi-final for the big one coming a year from now, little less? Can't be more. Of course, there are another big set of semi-finals in November, 4 states. Are they going to give very different and mixed results? But let me tell you, we're here in Bangalore and we've been talking to a lot of leaders and ordinary people. This is a fascinating story. It's a story about money power. It's a story about caste complexities. It's a story about big, powerful personalities. It's got everything. It's an election typical of our great Indian democracy. And we are here in the middle of Bangalore, old Bangalore, the bustling Russell Market. And Maya, can you tell us a little bit about this place?
Russell Market, the heart of old Bangalore really, in Shivajinagar, crowded Shivajinagar area. This market is one of the oldest in the city. It's almost 100 years old. It was almost destroyed by a fire just a year ago, but the people here, the traders here, didn't want to let it go. They built it up again. It's still running and servicing the people of this region.
It really is a happening place. Well, let me just introduce everybody we've got tonight. I've got a lot of people I really do admire and some of the senior most politicians. First, let me start with Sogata Srinivas Raju, editor of Vijay Times. Thanks very much. We've got Maya Sharma, the one and only, which all of you know. We've got Justice Santosh Hegde. Now, you are somebody I admire beyond words. What you've done, the courage you've shown, and what you've done to Karnataka politics, you've changed it forever, we hope. And we'd like to talk to you about exactly how your work that you've done will proceed and ensure that the changes remain. Then we've got the one and only Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, the CMD of Biocon, and who's got involved in this election. I love that. You don't just sit in a drawing room and talk about things. You're doing something. You're signaling good candidates from bad candidates. You're putting your money where your mouth is. Aren't you a little worried about the political fallout? Most people in business say, oh, don't enter politics, bad for business. You're doing both.
Well, I think it's time for change, and I think, Pranay, we are trying to get citizens engaged. I think for far too long, citizens have been apathetic. Citizens are just not willing to take on politics and politicians. And I think there needs to be accountability only if citizens really demand it.
You really are doing that. You're getting everybody involved, and especially in Bangalore. But we'll come to exactly what you're doing. We've got Dorab Supariwala, who of course is going to tell us who's going to win this election. You have to wait right to the end of the show because he likes to, keep the suspense going. And in terms of our leaders, we have Mr. S.M. Krishna. I've followed Mr. S.M. Krishna for so many years before he was Chief Minister, then Chief Minister, then Foreign Minister, and now senior mentor, politician, leader of the Congress Party in Karnataka. And we also have Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, a tall leader of the BJP, has so much to do with what's happening with the BJP, and we'll be getting their views on how exactly this election is going. We'll soon be joined by Mr. Devagowda as well, former Prime Minister, and a key force in this election, the rising JDS once again. And joining us from Delhi, he's been here just a few days ago, our one and only Srinivas Jain, who's done some really investigative stories, especially onto these elections, especially into the money power aspect of this election. But first, let's quickly look at some background data. What is the background to this election? How did the different parties fare in the last election? Let's look at the run-up to this election. Let's look at the results of the last last assembly elections here. Well, the last assembly elections, here they are. The BJP got 110 seats with 34% of the vote, while the Congress got 80 seats with 35% of the vote. 1 extra percent of vote, but 30 seats less. Remember, the halfway mark is 112 seats. Sorry, excuse me. The JDS just 19% and got only 28 seats, and others only 6 seats. That's actually very low for independents in an assembly election. The key factor is the vote percentage, Dorab, neck and neck, as one of the vagaries of this first past the post system.
Because I think the Congress's vote is spread across the state. The BJP vote is more in the Lingayat areas, so they had a concentrate vote base versus a spread out vote base.
And that is what the first past the post system, which we inherited from the British. I'm not sure it works for a really large country because it's happening around the country as well. If your votes are in one state, regional parties get much more seats, much more bang for the vote than if you're a really national party. And England itself, Scotland and Wales, we are finding a similar problem they're facing there. And certainly first past the post for India, maybe dividing it more than uniting it. But as I said, this election is full of caste as well. Let's have a look at the caste breakup. The Lingayats, 19%. The Vocaligas, 17%. The Kuruvas, that's Siddaramaya's caste base, 8%. The Muslims, 12%. Scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, 23%. And let's look how that's spread. They're geographically fairly neatly divided. If you look at right from the north, right down the central belt, those are the Lingayats. Right from the north to the south, from Bellary right down the center, strong Lingayat belt. Along the south, where the JDS, Devagowda and Kumaraswamy are so strong, the Vocaligas. And then on the eastern part, that's the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, where the Congress is hoping to make inroads. We were talking a bit about money power. Just look at these statistics. It's really good to be an MLA here in Karnataka. If you are the average MLA 5 years ago was worth 10 crores. Not bad. 10 crores. Couldn't say the typical Indian part of the Indian population. Little about maybe 200,000% above the national average GNP, national average income. 10 crores, but forget that. In 5 years, how well have they done? They've gone from 10 crores on average to 19 crores. So they've gone up almost 100%. They've gone up 88%. And by the way, this is all declared income to the Election Commission. We won't talk about the other stuff. So money power is crucial. With this sort of money, you know, it's good to be in why don't you become an MLA?
Well, you know, I think if you look at the last 10 odd years, 15 years, politics is no longer a profession, it's a business. So if I invest my money, I need a return. Like a normal business, like her business does. So if people say it takes 8 to 10 crores to get a ticket. Having got that ticket with a chance of losing, if I win, for God's sake, you expect me not to get a reasonable return of 30-40% per annum? Because the risk I'm taking is very high.
Right.
So it's politics as a business versus politics as a profession.
Politics of business. Let me bring in Mr. Venkaiah Naidu because, sir, the BJP has both gained and suffered as a result of this money power. First question I want to ask you, you've had 3 chief ministers because of the stand, the way Mr. Yediyurappa's corruption issues were handled. Looking back, sir, do you think the BJP could have handled the Yediyurappa problem a little differently? Because he's going to split your votes and that could cost you a lot of seats. Should you have handled it better?
First of all, let us try to understand that BJP did not get clear majority in the last election. We got only 110 seats. We need 123 or 124 seats. So we have to make some compromises and we have to take some people from other parties. That has affected us, I do admit. And secondly, when there was a Lokayukta indictment and a case is registered, then we have to ask Sri Yediyurappa to resign from the chief ministership. There was no other way and the party has taken a right stand. It might have temporarily costed us something, but we don't worry about it. We have taken a principled stand which is being appreciated by the people now across the state and also across the country.
So you will never reach out to Yediyurappa again? Is he untouchable for the BJP from now on? Untouchable?
You see, you must see this way. Sri Yediyurappa has taken a totally anti-BJP stand. He is calling BJP as communal, having been in the party and having been with Sangha Parivar for years together. So why should I propose anything and why should I make any comment about touchability or untouchability? That question do not arise now that he has gone out of the party and he has declared clearly that he don't want to come back to the party. So I don't want to make any comment unnecessarily on him.
Okay, sir. He may not want to come back, but will the BJP accept him if you need him to form a government?
Excuse me? Can you repeat it?
If you're, once again, if you're a little short of becoming a majority, will you go back to an old friend like Mr. Yediyurappa and join together to form a government?
We have learned enough. We are very clear that we will not make any compromise whatsoever. If the BJP gets clear majority, we will form the government. Otherwise, there is no question of trying to look to these people who have left the BJP.
Right. So one thing, you say you took a principled stand on Mr. Yediyurappa, but there were 22 ministers in your government charge-sheeted. Many of them still remain. How come you were principled on one hand and you don't seem so principled? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't agree with this figure. I don't know from where this 22 figure has come, and my Congress friends also are freely using it during their campaign. That's not the correct position. There are some allegations were made, but it's not fact to say. I'm telling you, please bear with me for a minute. 22 ministers are not charge-sheeted at all, and the people from Andhra Pradesh, ministers who are in jail, they are coming and giving this number of 22 people are charge-sheeted. Some charges have been made, they are under inquiry, and unless one is charge-sheeted, no charge-sheet minister who has been arrested has been given ticket by the BJP. We want the inquiry to be over fully. Please.
Right, sir. If it's not 22 ministers, how many ministers by your figures?
So my figure is 5 people. And
how many?
And then 4 or 5, and they are not given tickets.
Right. So no minister charge-sheeted has been given a ticket. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, we will verify that. So, just coming to Mr. Hegde. I just want to bring in Mr. Hegde because you mentioned his name as Lok Ayukt. You worked fearlessly. Was there a lot of pressure on you not to go too far because you went dug deep? You did things in underground, and you came out with this amazing report which has had such an impact on Karnataka.
No, I can't say that there was pressure except in 1 or 2 cases on behalf of the individuals. Others came and tried to bring some pressure on me, but then my past experience as a law officer and as a judge, I was used to all these practices, and I had practiced it to say no in the beginning itself. Once you start saying no in the beginning, then it's not very difficult at all. And that's why I think I could express the names of very big people, both in bureaucracy as well as in political executive. It wasn't difficult because at the time I came as Lokayukta Karnataka, there was so much of corruption both in bureaucracy and political executive that it was very difficult, easy to catch. It brings to my memory a judgment of Uttar Pradesh Malabar High Court, where a particular judge speaking about corruption in police department said, in a basket full of stinking fish, you can't pick up one and say this one stinks when the whole lot stinks. Now it was like that. There's so many corrupt people. It was easy if you made up your mind to catch the people, very easy. And I had good support from the police who were investigating the Prevention of Corruption Act cases.
But I must tell you that I've been following Karnataka elections for many years, going back to Ramakrishna Hegde. And up till about 5 years ago, there was a loss of hope in the people because Karnataka was being ruled from Bellary. The money power, and generally money power ruled Karnataka, and illegal money power. This time I come because of you, such a dramatic change. There's hope. There's one of the brothers of the real important brothers in jail for 20 months. A lot of the others are charge sheeted. There's Mr. Yediyurappa, Chief Minister, went to jail. But how can this be sustained? How will you, sir, ensure that it does not go back to what it was? It's not a one-time thing.
Well, I have no role to play.
You must now.
No,
That's
in the sense, after giving my report, the report got so much of publicity and the people started liking the report. And nothing has been done by the government concerned. If at all some actions have been taken, it is because of the Supreme Court functioning.
Yes.
Yeah, they entrusted the investigation to CBI and CBI has done the investigation. And they proceeded almost in the same lines as my investigation went,
Right.
you know.
No, but I'm worried about the future now.
Yeah.
You look young, you look energetic.
I'm only 73. I look young.
That's a, like, you know, that in India that you should be a young judge. But seriously, if you were asked to come back, would you consider it?
No, I won't come back.
Or any role to play to ensure that this cleanup continues?
No, I don't know whether I can do it because it requires a team of dedicated officers who are given to me. If I'm not given the team of dedicated officers, nothing can be done.
Right.
I must create confidence in those officers. I will stand by them,
Right.
come what may.
Right.
And I did it in the case of one officer who
Yes.
was kept under suspension. He was in Karwa, charge of Bilikere port.
Right.
And I resigned at that point of time.
I remember.
Then after 10 days I came back, whatever may be the reason, even that was the ground for criticizing me. Because I said because Mr. Advani
said yes,
persuaded me to come back. But on retrospect, I'm happy that I came back because I could submit the mining report.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I would never have submitted the mining.
So we want another comeback by Mr. Santosh Hegde, Justice Santosh. If you have the team,
Yeah, if you have the team, maybe yes.
you would consider it. That is actually for us very good, positive news and a headline for us. So Gata, this is the important point. There's hope again in Karnataka, thanks to Mr. Hegde, Justice Hegde. Will it continue or will it revert to this old position? It's at a crossroads right now.
It's at the crossroads actually. I don't think what Justice Hegde did has been completely accepted. I mean, he himself mentioned that the government has not accepted the report, number one. And number two, I don't think money power has been completely curtailed in these elections. In fact, we did a survey last week in the newspaper and we said the highest that is being spent in any constituency in Karnataka is 30 to 35 crores. I mean, that is a very conservative estimate that we have made.
Right.
And per vote in a constituency is being sold anywhere between rupees 100 and rupees 3,000.
My God.
So this is a ballpark figure. This is a conservative back of the envelope kind of calculation that we have made.
Huge.
And I mean, just coming back to one point that Mr. Naidu made, he is saying that
just one second. I'll just interrupt you there because I must go to the two really tall leaders we have. The former Prime Minister, Mr. Devagowda. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us. And equally tall figure, Mr. S.M. Krishna. To both of you, sir, Mr. Devagowda first. How do we ensure money power and black money does not return in a big way to Karnataka politics? Mr. Devagowda.
I don't accept all your some of the arguments advanced by other friends. Let me be honest, this type of exaggeration made by sitting in Delhi studio, I am so sorry for all these things. Who has estimated 35 crores is passing on to every assembly segment? It is unfortunately all these type of imagination is going on. Do you mean to say that every constituency a candidate who is contested by X party or a Y party is going to carry that much of money? And the election commission has put so much of vigilance today, appointing so many observers, all type of observers, expenditure observer, every type of the steps has been taken by the election commission. I do not know who gave all this information. This type of the message that has been conveyed in a media like NDTV, I am so sorry for that, Mr. Pranab Rai. I joined you because of your request. I have seen all these things even in the parliament. I am also a short while a Prime Minister and I run the administration as Chief Minister, I was able to win 16 parliament seats. Can anybody say that we have passed on money like this? I heard so many arguments and counter arguments, whether M.K. Naidu or I do not want to take the names of any individuals. It is not necessary for me. I am totally disappointed by this type of arguments and counter arguments. I have seen enough in public life from last 5 decades. From starting from an ordinary MLA from a small village.
Can I just bring in Mr. S.M. Krishna? Mr. S.M. Krishna, towards the end of your stint as Chief Minister, you saw money power rising in front of your eyes. In fact, one of the factors that harmed you at the elections when your party lost. Was there nothing you could do at that stage? And is there is it going to come back to Karnataka? But at the moment it's slightly in check.
Well, money has always played an important role. The Election Commission itself provides certain accommodation to candidates to spend money on elections, and they have prescribed a ceiling limit. And then to come to an assessment that on an average about 35 crores of rupees is being spent on a single assembly constituency in Karnataka, I think is totally an exaggerated figure. Yes, I have confessed that money does play a part, and I must compliment the Election Commission for the way that they are keeping a vigil on how money moves. Every time I come into Bangalore after campaigning, and then when I go into the helicopter, all the bags are searched, and I find that many vehicles are being checked by the Election Commission representatives. I welcome this, I think you don't see any posters, you don't see any banners. I think this is a positive improvement over the previous election. And I am sure that if the Election Commission were to be more vigilant, then this money power also can be curbed. Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, my learned friend and the Honorable MP from our state, did mention about the number of MLAs that were either sold or purchased. Let me remind him that the BJP did not get the figure of 110 or 111. 113 was the magic figure that they needed to form a government. They got about 100 plus, and that's when the notorious Operation Kamala came into being. Operation Kamala is the other way of saying that those non-committed MLAs are going to be bought by the BJP. They were asked to resign, and they were made to contest the elections, and they were returned. So this is the recent history.
Mr. Krishna, just sorry to interrupt you, but now that you, sir, but now that you mentioned Mr. Venkaiah Naidu a few times, I just want a reaction from him before coming back to you. So Venkaiah Naidu, any reaction to Mr. S.M. Krishna's statement? And may I also ask you, who is going to be your Chief Minister, and will you have one Chief Minister for the next 5 years?
I see S.M. Krishna ji is a most respected person. I personally hold him in high esteem. But I should remind him, in the nearby Goa, even before Karnataka, a BJP person has been made to resign, and he was made Chief Minister by the Congress party, Sri Digambar Kamath, in the state of Goa. They manipulated minority into majority by adopting this method. Now if Sri Krishnaji realizes that this is not good, making the opposition party MLA to resign and then giving him the ticket and getting him elected, if he feels it is wrong, I appreciate it. And I also feel that whatever method we have adopted of asking MLAs who want to join BJP to resign and then again stand election, and it is for the public scrutiny, public have elected them on BJP ticket. Whether it is an ideal thing or not, there can be two opinions about that. That's one thing. We have also learned some lessons. Secondly, coming to your question about this money, let me say it is very exaggerated. Election committee is taking tough action everywhere, but I must confess, in certain constituencies, in certain areas, money is still playing an important role, and I hope the election commission will take